Name's Justin. I was in the Army National Guard for 7 years. Got out as a E5 sergeant and did 2 tours, one to Bosnia, one to Iraq. We were patrolling one day in in our Bradleys, and I was in the gun. And our driver, we were going down a dirt road, and we hit an IED, and he ended up losing his foot because of that. And that happened, which was, kind of really shook you up a little bit. Next patrol I went out on, we hit another one. So that just kind of this, it all just kind of came in at one time. But then after that it happened, probably one of the most significant was one of my really good friends was, they were out patrolling and they hit a large IED, and 2 of them were killed, and they were both in the same Humvee, and one of my friends lost his legs. I was on the base, and they were probably, maybe a mile or 2 off base. And I listened to the whole thing like unfolding on the radio. I actually ran over to my squad leader and just said, "All right, we gotta go. Like, some stuff went down. Like, we got to get out there and help them out." But then, I think it was a couple days where you don't really process it all. Like, it's just like you're kind of, every waking moment's just like a reoccurring nightmare, or like you're just living it. And it's bad enough losing a really good friend, but knowing that the next day you got to go out to that same area, that same spot, and just do your job. Coming back was, it was great, just because I was engaged at the time, so all of that. But I just know, like, there was a big difference in how, like, I just viewed people, and I just didn't give people the time of day as much. I didn't tolerate a whole lot. I just had kind of a tainted view on life in general. I just was angry. There was an edge to me. I'll say that. And then another huge adjustment was, like, when you go from being America's hero and, like, really doing something that you felt like really mattered, to going to college classes and then getting a job. It's like, that was a huge adjustment. I still had a lot of trouble sleeping, and still do at times, with just falling to sleep, my mind constantly going, just kind of feeling that tense, on edge, feeling like loud doors being slammed shut, things fall. Just like very on edge, startled very, very easily. There were several discussions, I'll call them arguments, with my wife that, kind of led me to think, like, yeah, there's probably a little bit more than I'd like to admit here. So it was kind of a long process, a painful process of actually getting to that point where, okay, I gotta, man up and, own some of this stuff and realize that, hey, there's something wrong here. So what I ended up doing was, I contacted my county veteran service officer and just said, who do I need to see to get set up? And, he connected me with someone at the VA. It was really tough to admit that there was things wrong, but once I finally went in, it definitely started getting me down that road of, of just being able to cope with life better. I did a lot of the mental health stuff that they had, and I did an occupational therapy type stuff, because I'd had some just, whether it was related or not, but just like some memory loss. Just like I couldn't remember stupid things, like my organizational skills. I was in school at the time, and going into class and not being able to concentrate, focus, or remember things. And then it was just kind of a nasty, vicious cycle, because all that stuff had come up, and then I'd just get more frustrated, more tense. They diagnosed me with TBI, so I did a lot of, just different mental exercises, and they did a lot of assessments and stuff. I talked to a psychologist, and the guy I was meeting with was like, yeah, you know what? You're not alone in all this. There's a lot of guys coming back with, like, almost like rubber stamp type issues. To be able to take that first step of just reaching out to someone at the VA, that was one of my biggest helps, being back and transitioning, and just being able to understand a lot of these things and understand that you're not alone in them, is a huge help. And people, they're there to help and they're willing to help. You just gotta be willing to get that help.